It is better to be feared than loved. If you cannot be both, life unfolds as a battlefield, and your mind is the command center from which all operations flow. Every interaction, every email, every conversation can become a front line where the unaware expose themselves. Distraction, pride, and predictable aggression are your real opponents. They are the soldiers advancing quietly while you hesitate. Your task is not to charge, but to observe, to measure, and to strike strategically when the opportunity aligns. Everyday life is a chessboard. Meetings, deadlines, office politics, and social hierarchies are pieces moving with purpose, often unseen. The moment you react impulsively, you surrender initiative. The cost of direct confrontation is immediate and visible. Alliances fracture, credibility diminishes, and strength dissipates. Silent influence preserves power. It allows you to maintain control while others exhaust themselves in futile battles. Subtlety is your armor, patience your shield, observation your sword. Every slight, betrayal, or insult is data. When a colleague undermines you quietly or a peer dismisses your ideas, it is not personal failure but intelligence. Catalog patterns, interpret intentions, and convert them into actionable insight. Weak. He ignored me. That's bad. Strong. He ignored me. I recorded behavior. I adjusted my response. Turn humiliation into a resource. Calmness signals authority. When a team member challenges a decision, respond with measured clarity. Acknowledge the point, redirect attention to shared objectives, and secure the outcome without conflict. Your presence alone communicates readiness and control. Anticipate attacks before they arrive. Allow others to reveal themselves through overconfidence. Let your strategies operate invisibly while you maintain clarity. Silence is not inaction. It is preparation, positioning, and psychological containment. Observe the board, advance your pieces, and let the opposition exhaust their momentum against invisible barriers. Protect your energy, guard your throne of thought, and convert every encounter into strategic advantage. Victory emerges not from direct confrontation, but from disciplined positioning and silent mastery. Let each action be deliberate, each word purposeful, each pause calculated. Move like a predator that never needs to display its claws to command respect. Build influence quietly, consolidate authority invisibly, and allow outcomes to unfold according to design. Every slight becomes a lesson. Every betrayal a blueprint for future positioning. Stand firm, move decisively, and let patience dictate the tempo. Execute strategy with calm certainty, absorbing intelligence from every minor skirmish. Control your focus, protect your reputation, and maintain the discipline to wait for the right moment. Let the battlefield be visible only to you, and strike when the alignment favors your hand. Observe, record, adjust, and act without fanfare. Let your presence be commanding without aggression. Remember, power is preserved through subtlety and strategic restraint. End each day having advanced quietly, having turned challenges into leverage, and having kept your position unassailable. Your mantra becomes your silent battle cry. I conquer without being seen. Your mind is the throne from which all victories are commanded. Every thought, every emotion, every impulse is a soldier under your direct control or a traitor waiting to undermine you. Guard it with discipline. Fortify it against reactionary impulses that would scatter your power. Impulsivity is the enemy of strategy. When you act without foresight, you surrender advantage. Observe your internal landscape, identify biases, assumptions, and emotional triggers before external forces exploit them. Awareness alone does not suffice. Neutralize the patterns that invite manipulation or distraction. Every belief that goes unexamined is a potential weakness. Strategic patience strengthens your position. A ruler who responds to every slight Every challenge or every unexpected event appears unstable and reactive. Restraint communicates authority silently, signaling that you control your environment without exposing your hand. This is the essence of unseen power, influence that operates beneath the surface while maintaining an unshakable composure. Let your focus be deliberate, your attention selective, and your judgments precise. Weak impulses must be examined, and when necessary, quietly redirected into productive action. In a meeting where a peer challenges your proposal aggressively, do not retaliate. Listen, acknowledge their point briefly, and redirect the discussion toward shared objectives. This approach preserves authority without confrontation and demonstrates mastery of the mental battlefield. Treat every distraction as a minor skirmish rather than a full-scale war. Identify which thoughts demand engagement and which are noise to be monitored silently. Let clarity dictate action, and let indecision never weaken your position. Map your internal tendencies as a general maps the terrain of a battlefield. Recognize patterns that could be exploited by rivals and adjust accordingly. Prioritize long-term stability over short-term victories. The throne is sustained through careful deliberation, not impulsive displays. Exercise control over emotional reactions, suppress unnecessary arguments, and focus attention on meaningful objectives. Your cognitive environment must remain a fortress, impenetrable to the chaos around you. Every decision, every strategy, every response is an extension of your disciplined command. The mind, when ruled with vigilance and patience, becomes an instrument of silent dominance. Consolidate your power internally before attempting to influence externally. End each day reviewing your mental state, correcting deviations, and reinforcing discipline. Let this be your constant practice. The throne is secure only when your control is absolute. Your mantra becomes your constant reminder: I command my mind. I command my world. The first hour of your day is a battlefield, and your mind is the command post from which every operation is directed. Begin with deliberate control over your environment, your thoughts and your mood. The morning sets the tempo for silent dominance. Treat it as the first skirmish. Victory here gives momentum that carries through every encounter that follows. Small habits are enemy scouts. Distraction, delayed decisions, and scattered attention appear harmless, but quickly multiply into vulnerabilities. Remove them before they gain leverage. Make your rituals precise. Establish the order of priorities, the sequence of actions, and the deliberate pace that signals disciplines. Observation is your reconnaissance. As you move through the first hour, scan for patterns in your surroundings, noting who operates predictably, who resists collaboration, and where influence flows. This intelligence guides your decisions for the day. Let your morning preparation be a silent assertion of power. Eliminate trivial interruptions. Decide before you act, so no external pressure dictates your tempo. Take a moment of reflection to anticipate potential obstacles, the subtle resistances that might emerge in meetings or interactions. For example, if a colleague challenges a proposed plan early in the day, respond calmly by acknowledging their perspective and redirecting attention to collective goals, demonstrating authority without overt confrontation. Your actions must communicate readiness and composure without announcing them. Weak: I'm trying to figure things out. Strong: I have clarity and control, and I proceed deliberately. Strengthen mental resilience through focused tasks before engaging with unpredictable environments. Each deliberate step reinforces command over both internal and external conditions. Let caffeine, messages, or external noise serve only your preparation, not distract from it. Align your first decisions with long-term strategy, not fleeting impulses. Build momentum through clarity, efficiency, and silent observation. The patterns you notice in the morning become predictive intelligence for later actions. Protect this window of dominance, as if it were territory under siege. By controlling the opening hours, you shape every engagement thereafter. The battlefield begins with discipline, vigilance, and quiet calculation. Claim your first victory before the world asserts its demands. Let this practice become inviolable. Your mantra emerges naturally from this structured dominance. I seize the day before it seizes me. Silence is a weapon sharper than words, and stillness is a form of armor few recognize. The pause is power. Measured hesitation communicates dominance without a single utterance. When you refrain from immediate reaction, you project control, demonstrating that your mind is untouchable by impulsive forces. Calm observation is an invisible threat. Those who act hastily cannot anticipate your moves. They reveal weaknesses while you maintain composure. Let their aggression become intelligence. Record the patterns of provocation, noting what prompts chaos and what encourages restraint. Use this insight to shape your strategy. Strategic non-reaction turns external pressure into fuel for your plan. Respond selectively to attacks, comments, or minor slights. Weak, I need to respond now. Strong, I assess, I observe, I act only when advantage aligns. When a colleague challenges your recommendation abruptly, pause, absorb the words, then redirect the discussion to factual points and long-term goals. Let your stillness unsettle, never your anger. Each deliberate silence is a signal of authority, teaching others that impulsive maneuvers meet unyielding calm. Allow time to gather information before acting, using the interval to anticipate outcomes and adjust your approach. Silence magnifies presence. A composed demeanor implies preparation and awareness beyond the visible. Avoid unnecessary explanations. They dilute authority. Every inaction must be purposeful, every pause calculated, and every measured step a demonstration of invisible control. Observe, interpret, and conserve energy, while others exhaust themselves in verbal and emotional skirmishes. Let your restraint turn minor conflicts into advantages. Understand that stillness is not passivity, it is the deliberate orchestration of perception and influence. Your calm becomes the battlefield itself, unassailable, disciplined, and predictive. Leverage patience as your ally, vigilance as your shield, and silence as your sword. Each moment of restraint accumulates dominance over time, shaping outcomes without direct confrontation. Let your presence communicate strategy silently and effectively. The world moves quickly, but your deliberate pace commands attention and respect. Project authority without noise, and let your actions unfold only when strategically necessary. Your mantra crystallizes this mastery. Stillness conquers all. Power is preserved through precision and discretion. True dominance is achieved when threats are neutralized without drawing attention, when enemies lose influence before recognizing the battle. Cut without blood. Identify weak links in alliances or teams and remove their leverage quietly. Let their diminishing relevance unfold without drama or announcement. Observe dynamics carefully, noting who obstructs progress and who undermines cohesion. Then act through position, delegation, or reassignment rather than direct confrontation. Psychological neutralization is your silent weapon. Control narratives and shape perception to render rivals irrelevant. Emphasize facts, accomplishments, and alignment with long-term objectives. Weak, I need to confront this person publicly. Strong, I shift influence and priorities silently, allowing results to speak. A colleague attempts to challenge your authority in a meeting. Respond by highlighting shared goals and redirecting focus to data, ensuring their influence wanes without creating overt conflict. Avoid collateral damage. Precision ensures power grows without igniting unnecessary wars. Do not punish or isolate indiscriminately. Remove only what threatens cohesion or progress. Every action must be targeted and deliberate, minimizing fallout. Let decisions be informed by observation, intelligence, and measured timing. Subtle adjustments in responsibility, visibility, or access can achieve the same effect as overt confrontation, but maintain harmony. Watch for ripple effects. Ensure that removing influence does not create new vulnerabilities or resentment that can destabilize your position. Maintain clarity of purpose, calm in execution, and an unwavering commitment to strategic advantage. Preserve relationships when possible, while consolidating authority, turning potential conflict into a calculated reorganization of power. Each maneuver must reinforce your position without attracting unnecessary attention. Use quiet authority to shape outcomes, allowing others to move within the boundaries you define. Monitor results, adjust tactics, and maintain vigilance over emerging threats. Silent elimination requires patience, observation, and unwavering discipline. Let your actions be invisible yet effective, creating an environment where rivals fade before they realize the battle began. Your mantra becomes the principle guiding every strategic choice. I remove threats without a trace. True mastery is unseen, and authority is silent. Your presence must convey power without alarm, influence without overt control. Adopt the mask of command. Appear agreeable and approachable to disarm opposition while quietly orchestrating outcomes. Let your actions be subtle yet decisive, shaping events through indirect guidance. The friendly predator understands that overt aggression invites resistance. Cooperation, carefully guided, achieves what force cannot. Project calm power in every gesture. A measured tone, deliberate pacing, and composed posture communicate authority to those attuned to leadership. Weak, I am in charge. Strong, I act with precision and poise. Others follow naturally. Influence becomes invisible when you lead without announcing yourself. Direct outcomes without forcing decisions. Provide options that guide choices while maintaining the illusion of autonomy. Observe interactions carefully, noting where subtle nudges can align behavior with strategic goals. For example, when a team member challenges a plan, respond with acknowledgement and redirection toward collective objectives, shaping perception without confrontation. Let your guidance ripple quietly through the environment, leaving your intent intact while others remain unaware of its orchestration. Control narratives and flow of information, ensuring your objectives are met without revealing your hand. Influence is cumulative. Small, consistent interventions compound into decisive results. Avoid unnecessary displays of dominance. Let your competence and strategic presence communicate superiority naturally. Silence often conveys more authority than words. Stillness commands attention and respect. Let every action, every pause, and every response re-invisible control. Guard against impatience, impulsivity, or overexposure. The mask loses power when transparency becomes predictability. The true leader acts as both observer and orchestrator, blending presence with discretion. Each day, refine subtlety, strengthen observation, and calibrate influence. Lead like a shadow moving among the pieces, unseen yet shaping the board. Your mantra crystallizes this principle. I guide unseen, I command unchallenged. Indecision is the ally of enemies. Hesitation is the signal that power can be challenged. Adopt the mindset of the inner assassin. Silence doubt, suppress hesitation, and move decisively in thought and action. Every moment spent wavering invites exploitation. Train your instincts to recognize weakness in yourself and others without moral bias. Shadow discipline is essential. Observe patterns, detect vulnerabilities, and assess threats with clarity. Personal flaws, unchecked impulses, or neglected responsibilities are as dangerous as external adversaries. Eliminate them with the same rigor you would a rival's influence. plan moves like a lethal chess piece. Each decision must be calculated, precise, and strategically positioned to achieve maximum effect while remaining invisible to opposition. Let your actions unfold without announcement. Let results speak while intent remains concealed. When a colleague subtly undermines a project, respond by quietly redirecting resources, adjusting responsibilities, and reinforcing key objectives, neutralizing the threat without confrontation. Weak, I need to correct this openly. Strong, I adjust strategically. Outcomes align, threats dissipate. Anticipate consequences, sequence actions, and conserve energy for decisive maneuvers. Every interaction is an opportunity to exercise silent influence. Control perception by aligning execution with broader strategy, leaving competitors and critics unaware of the adjustments being made. Observe without attachment, act without hesitation, and maintain vigilance over emerging risks. Let internal and external threats be assessed and neutralized before they manifest into conflict. The inner assassin moves like an incarnate, precise, patient, and unseen, striking only when advantage is absolute. Cultivate the capacity to act instantly when opportunity arises, yet restrain action until it aligns with overarching objectives. Discipline your mind as a blade, sharpen instincts, and coordinate strategy with clarity. Each calculated step builds momentum, consolidates power, and ensures stability in unpredictable environments. Let mastery of self and surroundings converge into decisive influence. Your mantra crystallizes this lethal focus. I strike with mind and purpose, unseen and unstoppable. Surrender is a tool. Desire unchecked becomes weakness. Indulgence dulls the predator within. Feed the wolf strategically, cultivating patience and controlled ambition. Channel your drive toward mastery, not impulsive gratification. Controlled hunger sharpens focus and aligns energy with long-term objectives. Observe before striking. Study the environment, the players, and the patterns of influence. Ignorance invites failure. The predator that rushes loses both opportunity and advantage. Take time to analyze motives, anticipate responses, and detect vulnerabilities. Sublimate aggression into strategy. Energy spent on impulsive conflict dissipates strength. Discipline converts it into calculated influence and decisive action. Weak, I must act now to assert dominance. Strong, I prepare, I wait. I move with precision and intent. When a colleague challenges your plan publicly, restrain immediate reaction, gather information, assess the situation, and respond with measured adjustments that align outcomes to your objectives. Let observation guide timing. Let restraint magnify power. Recognize that your instincts are tools, not impulses. Feed them selectively to maintain clarity, focus, and momentum. Each deliberate action, each moment of controlled patience, reinforces authority and strengthens the position from which you operate. Hunger drives preparation, not recklessness. Maintain vigilance over both internal drives and external threats. Calibrating effort and attention to maximize influence. Transform desire into leverage, aggression into strategy, and restlessness into calculated advantage. Let your presence communicate readiness, your patience signal power, and your actions manifest control. The wolf thrives not in reckless pursuit, but in disciplined, calculated execution. Let instinct, intellect, and observation converge into decisive influence, shaping outcomes without unnecessary exposure or conflict. Harness the predator within to dominate silently, ensuring every move is purposeful, precise, and strategic. Your mantra emerges naturally from this disciplined power. I feed the wolf. I strike with clarity. Life is a chessboard, and every move shapes outcomes beyond immediate perception. Plan 10 steps ahead, anticipating opponents' motives, patterns, and potential reactions. map adversaries silently, observe behavior, study past decisions, and detect vulnerabilities. Knowledge of intentions and weaknesses is power. The unseen strategist gains advantage before others recognize the board. Sacrifice small pieces when necessary. Short-term losses secure long-term dominance. Weak, I cannot let this go. Strong, I adjust positions strategically. The larger game prevails. Let minor setbacks serve your overarching plan, not derail it. Timing is everything. Reacting impulsively invites exposure and compromise. Wait for openings, exploit patterns, and strike when conditions align perfectly with your objective. When a colleague attempts to influence a project prematurely, remain calm, redirect focus subtly, and allow momentum to shift in your favor without overt confrontation. Positional advantage compounds over time. Calculated patience is as lethal as decisive action. Every interaction is a move on the board. Decide which to engage, which to bypass, and which to sacrifice. Anticipate consequences across multiple turns, aligning resources, attention, and energy with ultimate objectives. Silence, observation, and strategic patience transform ordinary actions into instruments of influence. Maintain awareness of evolving dynamics. The chessboard is never static, and each decision reshapes the game. Recognize that victories come not from rash aggression, but from methodical, deliberate positioning. Combine foresight, precision, and patience to control the flow of events, creating inevitability in outcomes. Execute strategy with clarity, discipline, and unwavering attention to patterns. Let your planning and restraint dictate the rhythm of the board, guiding events to align with your design. Mastery lies in vision, preparation, and execution. Every move becomes a deliberate instrument of silent dominance. Your guiding principle crystallizes here. I play with patience, I win with strategy. Discipline is forged, not inherited. Each day becomes a battlefield where your mind tests limits and your body enforces control. Begin with small confrontations, endure minor discomforts, face subtle fears, and condition yourself for challenges unseen. Mental toughness grows through repeated exposure to pressure without complaint. The resilient mind recognizes no weakness, no hesitation. Weak, I cannot bear this. Strong, I endure, I adapt, I advance. Self-superiority starts internally. Dominate chaotic thoughts, regulate impulses, and cultivate a calm that projects invulnerability externally. Let every habitual exercise of patience, focus, and controlled reaction become a ritual of iron will. Small, silent victories compound, creating an unshakable foundation that commands respect without a word. Observe how your responses shape outcomes. Allow minor provocations to pass while maintaining composure, and let calculated restraint become a weapon of influence. When a colleague pushes boundaries or challenges your authority subtly, respond with measured attention, neutralizing escalation while asserting silent mastery. Condition your mind through consistency. Repetition builds neurological pathways that favor discipline over distraction. Reject indulgence that dulls purpose. Replace fleeting satisfaction with strategic gains aligned with your long-term vision. Your body and mind must act in concert. Physical routine reinforces mental resilience. Seek discomfort deliberately, for it tempers hesitation and sharpens judgment. Each ritual, each moment of self-control becomes armor against chaos, ensuring you remain untouchable when external conflicts arise. Embrace the grind, respect the process, and elevate practice into strategy. Command your environment before it commands you. Your daily ritual is not merely a habit, it is a declaration. I bend nothing, I yield to none. Power is most feared when it moves unseen. Cultivate a presence that commands attention without gesture, word, or overt control. Let your posture, calm voice, and deliberate pace communicate authority. Your influence radiates before any action is taken. Strategic mystery shields intent. Never reveal your plans or allow patterns to form. Unpredictability breeds respect. It forces others to hedge, hesitate, and misstep, granting you invisible advantage. Build a silent empire by shaping perception. Guide decisions subtly, influence outcomes through suggestion, and orchestrate dynamics while appearing disengaged. Weak, I need to lead directly. Strong, I shape the path while standing aside. Observe interactions carefully, anticipate reactions without interference, and adjust strategy quietly. In one meeting, a colleague attempted to assert dominance. Respond with composed acknowledgement, redirecting focus without confrontation, neutralizing challenge while reinforcing authority. Let small, invisible acts accumulate. A nod, a pause, a question that frames the conversation, and the people around you act in alignment with your unspoken will. Prioritize patience over impulsivity. Control the tempo of engagement, ensuring opponents reveal intentions first. Your empire exists in perception as much as reality. Every move calculated, every absence noticed, every silence measured. Influence must feel natural to observers, their obedience a reflection of your unseen power. Guard unpredictability and consistency in equal measure. The combination of mystery and reliability disarms adversaries. Engage selectively, act decisively, and retreat when advantage is not absolute. Build layers of authority that require no proclamation. Mastery resides in subtle control. Let presence, restraint, and strategy intertwine until your position is unassailable. Your actions are few, precise, and decisive. Your influence is total. Become untouchable. Move without being moved. All power that moves unseen holds the greatest advantage. Imagine your mind as both throne and chessboard, each thought of as a strategic piece, each decision a quiet maneuver shaping outcomes without alerting others. Every morning, every pause, every deliberate act compounds into authority, invisible yet undeniable. Mastery begins with synthesis, the clarity of iron will, the foresight of the chessboard of life, the silent influence of presence without action. These converge into a single formidable apparatus, the mind as apex strategist. Discipline becomes instinct. Hesitation is neutralized before it manifests. Daily confrontations with small fears condition nerves for challenges unseen, training the mind to endure discomfort, to act without flinching, to see weakness without moral distortion. Controlled hunger fuels ambition without indulgence. Sublimated aggression channels energy into plans rather than rash confrontations. Observation replaces reaction. Study of allies and rivals reveals vulnerabilities, tendencies, and opportunities, allowing influence to spread quietly, shaping decisions long before intervention is required. Strategic patience ensures timing is precise. Impulsivity is lethal in the game of silent dominance. Presence without action radiates authority. Subtle gestures guide outcomes, unperceived yet fully effective. In one scenario, a subordinate tested limits through oblique resistance. You responded with measured acknowledgement and redirection, neutralizing challenge while preserving autonomy and perception of your benign stance. Power crystallizes in detachment. The storm may rage, provocation may flare, yet mastery remains unshaken, still, calculating, invulnerable. Influence is layered, invisible, omnipresent. Every word, gesture, or omission serves the long-term structure of control. Build your empire in perception, aligning reality with the silent will. Every move, unseen. Every decision, calculated. Enemies falter in hesitation before engagement, never recognizing the battle begun. Authority becomes a quiet gravity drawing compliance without coercion. Let unpredictability coexist with reliability. Let observation guide precision. Let restraint create dominance. Walk unnoticed, yet shape all. Strike only when effect is total and risk nullified. Your presence, actions and strategy merge into a singular, untouchable force. Internal chaos is mastered, external threats neutralized without confrontation, allegiance molded by unseen hands. Life as battlefield, mind as throne, spirit as predator. This is the apex of silent conquest. Let every day, every pause, every choice be a calculated extension of this power. Walk among the world as shadow and architect, untouchable, unseen, unstoppable. Command without being seen. Begin each day as a rehearsal of unseen mastery. Silence is your training ground. Every pause, every measured breath, every deliberate act strengthens the mind's capacity for quiet influence. Track your movements and intentions as a shadow observes its environment, learning without revealing, adapting without exposure. Let your daily actions condition discipline, patience, and resilience, transforming repetition into instinct. Confront small uncertainties without complaint, enduring minor discomforts to fortify nerves against unforeseen challenges. Channel attention toward subtle cues, a hesitation in conversation, a pattern in behavior, an opportunity unnoticed by the impulsive. Each observation, each internal adjustment, compounds into authority that moves without being seen, shaping outcomes while preserving autonomy and respect. Recognize the power of restraint. Resist the temptation to act prematurely or to assert dominance through obvious force. Let every gesture be precise, every omission intentional, every choice an extension of your strategic will. In one instance, when a colleague attempted to provoke a reaction, you responded with measured acknowledgement, redirecting energy without confrontation, reinforcing influence, while preserving the appearance of harmless neutrality. Continuous shadow growth means monitoring both self and environment, identifying weaknesses and reinforcing strengths without broadcasting intentions. Your mastery becomes habitual, a silent architecture supporting every decision, every interaction. Channel ambition into observation and planning, temper desire with discipline, and cultivate patience as a weapon as lethal as any overt action. Let your presence be subtle, yet commanding, your mind sharp and vigilant, your actions deliberate and unseen. Build momentum through consistency. Small victories in control compound into complete command over self and circumstances. Authority grows quietly when nurtured through daily practice, and influence extends invisibly when maintained with vigilance. Commit to this regimen relentlessly, for mastery respects no lapse, no hesitation, no indulgence in impulsivity. Walk through life as the silent strategist, shaping outcomes, guiding decisions, and asserting dominance through the invisible mechanisms of your cultivated will. Integrate these principles daily, refining instinct, observation, and patience into a coherent framework of unseen power. I conquer without confrontation. I am unseen, untouchable, unstoppable.